Everybody, it's Doom here, and we're in the 3.5 Monster Manual on the Kobold. And I did not make standard Kobolds. I made custom Kobolds that are kind of like primal, and that's my fault. I should have just made Kobolds. I forgot you guys are populating your tables. So what I have is 3 that I've made here, and I'm not going to paint them brown like regular Kobolds. I'm going to do like a red, maybe to a pink. Because I'm just trying to add some different colors to my table and to my monsters. This is a disgusting red. We're not going to use that. I don't like that color. So we're using, this is Folk Art Cardinal Red. I don't know where I got this. Either at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, or Walmart. Probably not Walmart, because I think Walmart just has the apple barrel stuff. I'm going to get a really soft brush. I'm going to get it a little damp with my dirty paint water that I didn't change out from yesterday. And I'm going to paint this guy all red. And I am not doing mine with an enormous amount of craziness. I'm going to paint them red, dry them off, paint them red again, because they're going to need 2 coats with this cheap paint. Okay. Probably need to do his arm, I suppose. Didn't want to paint his weapon up, but it's okay. Now this guy has clothes, but what we're going to do is we'll just come back after we've done all the dry brushing and stuff we're going to do on him, and we'll come back and paint those and then give them some interest and make them look a little different and special. When you're painting really small stuff, sometimes you got to kind of change your methods up to get what you want. Or I guess we could have dry brushed them white and speed painted them and got amazing results, but I don't like to speed paint everything. Besides, this is speed painting, right? We're painting fast. I really like that head. I wish I'd used more of those heads. So the smarter move would have been to use the big makeup brush to do these, and I didn't do that. So let's set this paint over off to the side. Get the +2 hot air gun burning, because I know you guys like it when I use magic items. If you watched part 1, I was doing magic spells. Now I'm doing items. I'm a bit of a show-off, what can I say? Now, you can use these as stand-ins for almost anything, really. You're not obligated to only use these as kobolds. You could use these as lizard folk that are like lesser lizard folk and stuff like that easily, too. I just happen to be making them to be kobolds, and I'm not even going to use them as kobolds. I'm going to use them as like a feral fey kind of kobold, like an offshoot ancient kobold that is heavily involved in fey magic. That's, I think, what I'm going to do. I use a lot of custom mobs because I don't play D&D anymore. I use my own system now. And so I like to have things on the table that no one knows how they work or what the rules are for them. And every fight is a surprise. That's my jam now. It is way more fun. I have been using a lot of fey magic in my campaign because I've never done it much. And this gives me an opportunity to go outside of stuff that my players are used to. And it gives me a lot of agency to make stuff up. Like I made up a creature called, we're going to have to make one, called a Brimf, which in my lore, nymphs survive by reproducing. So they generally seduce a mortal, And then after they reproduce with the mortal, they steal the essence from the male and they create a new life and they extend their own lives. Now, if they can't find a mortal, they'll settle for anything, even dirty, nasty brownies or whatever they can find. And when they do that with a brownie, there is a small 10% chance that they'll actually create a real offspring. And that normally they need mortals to create offspring, but they can with a brownie. So when a nymph and a brownie have a 10% chance and they do create an offspring, it's called a brymph. And a brymph has lots of latent magic energy, but it has no control over it. So the first thing it encounters magic-wise, it copies and starts doing it. And in this campaign, the brymph encountered a mimic shortly after its birth. And so it can turn into stumps and stuff like that, but it's growing and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger because nothing can stop it. Nothing knows what it's doing. So it's just eating everything it encounters and getting enormous. And it started asexually reproducing. As it's gaining too much mass to maintain, it just pops off another one. And so this brymph doesn't even know it's a brymph, doesn't know what it is, and it's just out of control. So we have a good looking set of stuff going on there. And now I'm going to get a medium red. I'm drying out my brush a little bit. I'm getting a medium red. This is called Cardinal Crimson. It's not as dark as that was. It's a little more vibrant. And we're just giving some variation for a base coat so that it makes it less, so it's not all the same looking. You know what I mean? It's just going to be a little more interesting. And we're not covering every square inch. Now, obviously, if you see some black showing through, try to grab that, but don't spend a whole lot of time painting these perfect. We're going to set those off to the side. And this is flag red. It's even lighter red. Okay. Now we're going to steal a little bit of this. We're going to get some pink. And this is called Pink Parfait. It is hideous. We're going to grab another piece of cardboard here. You want to hit these light because you don't want to paint them. You just want to catch some details at this point. Okay. The model's a little bit wet still, so you're lightening it up fairly, but you're still making those details pop. And then for the next one, we're going to dry them off with a +2 hot air gun of burning. And actually dry brush them. Okay. I'm setting this off to the side. Yes, I'm using magic items when I craft. It seems broken, but I will tell you a secret. There are many magic items in the world just waiting for us to discover them. For example, many people saw this in the store and thought it was just a regular makeup brush, but But I saw the sparkles, and I knew it was magic, so I bought this +1 dry brushing brush of brushing. As far as magic items go, the +2 hot air gun of burning is an ancient relic from the times before. And I'm just hitting the tops now with that real light dry brush. And then I'm going to take this brush and put it in my water, and I'm going to get a new dry brush. This one's real soft. I'm not going to use that one actually. I have this one. I'm going to use this one. It's a little bit longer of bristles. And I'm going to get a lighter pink. This is called Cameo Pink. I'm going to get a tiny dab of that. And I'm going to get a dib of that, a dib of it. And then we really want to get almost all this off. And then we just want to pick up some detail the best we can. We're not looking for perfection here, and perfection is not a prerequisite of a good craft. All right, let's take this out of here. Get something dry. And let's get a small brush. And this color is called Chocolate Bar, and it's kind of a bold, dark reddish brown. And I'm going to use this to do any of the loincloths or clothes or things like that. And then he's got some little shoulder pads that are left over from the original model that I didn't cut off. I'm going to do them in that color too. Then he's got some kind of little wrist wrap. I'm going to do that too. And then on this hand it has him as wearing a glove, but I don't want that. I just want it to be like a bracer, not a glove. I'm just doing all their shit in that same. This guy's got a little bit of a loincloth here. Oh, he actually didn't. Oh well. And this dude had some gloves on his original arms. And I'm just going to make those into bracers or whatever. 'Cause I want... Okay. And then this one. Then he's got some kind of crap around his ankles and he's wearing boots. Now again, this guy had gloves, but I don't want him to have gloves, so I'm just painting these to be like bracers or whatever. Now let's come back. With a beige or a khaki or whatever you have. I have khaki here. It's like a light beige. And I'm going to paint their spikes very carefully and not get it on their bodies. And their spikes are all a little bit of wonky and different, and that's okay. Okay. So, I don't know a lot about celebrities and stuff, and you can kind of tell by the way I am that I'm not super interested in them. But my wife knows something about celebrities, and she knows something crazy. Megan Trainor, who sings that All About That Bass song, and I guess a bunch of other songs too, but that's just the one that I know because the joke is that my friend Dudu actually dances in that video, but it's not him, but we joke that it's him. She is married to the redheaded spy kid boy. And apparently one of their children looked just like him, but they didn't become a spy. If you look just like the spy kid boy, I feel like you should become a spy. And Mrs. Doom doesn't seem to think that he was a real spy, that he just played one in a movie. But he had me fooled. I think in one of the movies he bested Sylvester Stallone. I'm not a spy, and I don't think I could best Sylvester Stallone, so as far as I can tell, kid must be a real spy, right? Now this is ivory, and this is just a yellowish white. And I'm wiping almost all of it off. These aren't dry enough for what I'm trying to do, and that's my fault. Okay. Now I'm going to get the +2 hot air gun burning. I'm going to put this brush away. Well, I'll leave it out, but I'm not using it for the next part. So I'm going to just set them here in their gross pinkness. And I'm going to dry the spikes and weapons. And then I'm going to get another color that's just barely an off-white called antique white. Come on, you. Antique parchment, sorry. I'm going to get a very small soft brush that I can use to pick up a little bit of detail on these spikes and weapons. Okay. And I'm going to leave that brush out. And what I have here is a medium reddish brown called chestnut. And I'm going to go back over the clothing with this. And that really cheapy soft brush that we just used, that we can dry brush little stuff with. I'm just going to throw a little variation. I'm not really painting or looking for any detail. I'm just throwing some variation on some of this brown. Not looking for anything spectacular here. Okay, now they have eyes and they have bases, and the one has the open mouth. Simple solution on that open mouth, since he doesn't have any teeth, is to get a wet paint or a speed paint. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to use speed paints, but for this open mouth it's just going to be perfect. And I don't want to come all the way out to the edges. I just want to keep in the middle part and leave his outside lip parts pink. So I just went in there and hit it and darkened that up. And I'm going to get my brush that Mrs. Doom bought me for my birthday. The Insane Detail Wargamer brush here from Speed Painter, or Army Painter. I'm getting an off-white. This is called Mummy Robes. Num 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 num. All right, guys, let's get that first brush we base coated with, that size 4 flat tip, and let's set this off to the side. Let's get some burnt umber, which is a dark brown from the Walmart. It's that cheapy brand, Apple Barrel, Apple Barrel, and let's paint these bases a little bit. If you can't get all of it without hitting their feet, that's okay. Just get the majority of it and we can come back to it with a smaller brush. This size 4 flat tip came from one of those multi-packs you get. I think I just found my niche. Everybody has a niche. I'm going to talk about the dumb stuff my wife tells me about celebrities and then become a famous YouTuber. Oh my gosh. All these years I've been working and killing myself to get ahead. I could have just been talking about Spy Kids. I don't even know the kid's name. And I do know Meghan Trainor's name, but I don't know the kid's name. It's probably like a spy name. Like, I don't know, Derek Bond, Walter Bond, the Duchess, Sterling. His name is probably Sterling. Oh, I need that paint. Why did I put it away? His name is probably Sterling. I didn't even think about that. Man, I really dropped the ball. That dude's name is totally Sterling. Maybe his middle name's Mallory. So with that that brush, I'm gonna get a medium brown. I'm just gonna create a little variation. All right, so I'm going to flock them with some green flock. You've seen me do it before, but we're at 31 minutes here, and it's getting, this is kind of getting dragged out. The eyes are white, the off-white, the spikes and the weapons are like a bone color. I'm going to do one more step on those weapons, but I don't think I'm doing it on the spikes. So what I'm doing is getting just a little piece of tape here, and if you have a nice tan wash or a light brown wash, you can use that. But I'm just going to use this speed paint because it dries quick, and I want to get these clear coated and up on the table and go to bed. Because I did work like 14 and a half hours, and I didn't like sleep last night because we played our tabletop game till like midnight, and I was up at 4. So I'm just painting the bone weapons with that. Oh, I didn't paint the handles of these weapons. I got to do that too. You can actually wipe a lot of that off and really thin this up if you wanted to. And just touch those spikes, but I probably wouldn't do that. But I've done it now, so. Don't want to paint the entire spike. Okay. Using the same brush. I don't like that color. I grabbed a color I don't like. What do I have here? What's this? Oh, I just got a new color of tan somewhere. Where did I put it? Here we go. Light mocha. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We will paint the handles with this hideous light mocha. It's actually pretty, but it doesn't make sense for their weapon handles because it is way, way, way too light. Alright, well, we've come this far. We're already in. In for a penny, in for a pound, or something. So let's just finish them since we're here. Putting some brushes away. Putting these guys in the center. Now you might think they look a little funky right now. And they do. And these are not spectacular paint jobs. But I will tell you, they will look better actually after I clear coat them, believe it or not. A lot of these like weird paint combos and stuff, they do look better once they're coated. Because right now they look very dry and desolate. And you can't see any like real color change in the subtleties between the brushings. But when you come back to these guys with that clear coat, it really does make a difference. Now this base is way wetter than I needed it to be. So we're going to have to put some extra love with a +2 hot air gun of burning on it. And we're going to have to just come back and hit each one again most likely. Just to make sure they're dry enough to flock them. Alright, so in order to flock these, all we need is a little clear white glue and a toothpick and flock. So I'm just getting a little bit and smearing it so it's not a perfect, reasonable shape. If there are any spots on your base you don't like, this is the time to clean that up and hide that. Well, there's a little bit of hot glue on the base that I missed there. Alright, once you get all those done, you guys should know how to do this by now. You sprinkle it, blow off the excess, sprinkle, blow off the excess, sprinkle, and blow off the excess. Alright, so Kobolds. 2 long videos. I apologize for that. But here are the Kobolds. And they are, like I said, more feral custom Kobolds that I made. They're not your kind of more advanced Kobolds that can make decent stone improvised tools and stuff. These guys are very feral. And if they have any clothing, it's because they stole it from something and made it fit them. That's why their loincloths are janky and jagged. And their weapons are made out of just whatever they could find, which would be like bones from shit they ate and rope. So thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, hit like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave me a comment, come to the website, buy some minis from me and Asko on Dungeon Swag, come to our Discord, hang out, paint miniatures, play some role-playing games, some video games, whatever you want to do. Would love to see you there. Share your artwork with us, share your miniatures with us, your terrain. We'd like to see it all. So I'll see you next time. The next entry, I think, is the Kraken, but I already did a Kraken, so I'm not going to do another Kraken. That video is going to be in the playlist, though. And then I did it for Kraken Week, and there's no point in doing another one. And then the next one is Crenshaw, which is that. So it's like a medium magical beast. It's really not interesting. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.